Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and I'm doing day 8 of Scrap Squad's 12 days of spring Scraplifts, and because it came out on the 8th, I didn't do it on the 8th, I'm doing it on the 9th, and it won't be published until the 10th, but you get the idea. It was the 8th, and I wanted to do a John page, and so I kind of pulled the stuff and put everything together, but did a different page and published it today. So this will go out on the 10th, and the 10th is kind of a special day for us too. I'm using Discover and Create, and I'm kind of using the yellow-orange spectrum in that collection, and I've fussy cut some things. I'm gonna color these chipboard pieces, so let me do that now. I'm going to use a combination of, let me put the background away. I'm going to do this. I'm going to lay these out here. It's not going to be real messy, but I'm going to do these maybe in different colors, but I'm going to use a combination of cracked pistachio because that's the color shirt John is wearing in the photo. And then I'll add some bundled sage, which kind of brings it more into the color palette of the collection. So I'm going to use a piece of packaging, and I'm going to spray some water. Let's do some bundled sage right there. And I'm not going to heavily color these because I really like the look. I really almost wanted to use them in black and white just because I love how that looks. And the original here has some flowers and leaves that are just black and white, and then there are a couple of them that are colored. So I kind of debated, but let's kind of do this. Here I'm going to do just a few leaves in the cracked pistachio. Not, like I said, not a heavy dose of color here. And I just kind of barely want them to look as though they've been colored. And I'm going to do a little bit of each color on each one of these leaves. Nothing spectacular there. And here I'm just going to kind of do some brush marks in the center of the leaf, and then I may come back with some bundled sage and add some. This is very subtle, and that's just perfect for me, for what I intended. Okay, now I'm going to go bundled sage, and I'll do some of these other leaves on here. Not really caring whether I stay inside the lines, of course. Not that I ever do. Okay, I think that's enough color on there, and we'll go do some bundled sage here. It's so light and pale that it's hard to tell the difference between the two colors, and that's kind of cool, actually. I'll just put a little bit around the outside of the leaves here. Okay, and that's just about as subtle as you can get. Let me change paintbrushes and do another couple of colors for the hearts. Let's do, I want to say spun sugar, and let's go with wild honey. And I'm going to change out my packaging. I want to use that big piece. Okay, sorry about that. I should have had those ready. I'm gonna pick up my color this way and see if that works. These I wanted a little bit more concentrated color, so I'm doing them differently. And there I made a little bit of an effort to stay inside the lines. Okay, so that's John's heart. And mine will be kind of a pinkish. I'm going to kind of clean that off and hope that it didn't carry too much of the yellow. If it did, that's not going to bother me a whole lot. Let me do this. Okay, it is very heavily yellow, so it is going to bother me because I want a distinct difference in those two hearts. And I wanted this pink. This spun sugar has a slightly cool, which means purplish cast to it. I'm just going to spray it directly on the glass. And I think all the yellow's gone, so let's see if that works. And what I want to do here is kind of do a design like a plaid. Let me spray directly on there. And we'll go that way, and that way, and that way. Okay, I think that's good. That's what I was looking for, I think. Who knows? Who knows what I was looking for? Okay. Now, let's get the white paper back. I have chosen this newsprint for the top torn layer, and I have a yellow frame that's going to go up there, so that'll bring the yellow. I love how there's kind of watercolory mixed media look up here. And let me get this on straight. I've been having trouble with that lately. Then I've got yellow down at the bottom, and I hate not using this side. You know that's hurting me. Okay. Love those pencils. Okay. So now, the photo that's going to go up here is this one. It was taken on an 8th a few years back. When we were out, I think I've told the story before, but our first date was on an 8th, and we got married on the 8th, and we celebrated every 8th in the whole 40 years, the 8th of every month in the whole 40 years that we were married before he passed away. And I still celebrate the 8th. He set a little reminder on my very first Mac that I ever owned in, I think, like 2006. And it, of course, transfers every time I change computers, and it transfers to my phone. It comes up on my phone and my iPad and all the things. When I fitted this to the frame, I didn't print the picture quite big enough. So there's a little bit that kind of shows, but I want it to be even all around, to kind of look a little bit like a mat. And I'm going to put some foam behind this. Let's get a piece in keeping with the color scheme even. Got a, here's my scissors. I've got yellow foam. And I saw this I'm gonna do it this way, and then I'll do that. I'm gonna put it right here, and then I will build the cluster around it. And let me make sure I have room for my title. The title is going to be that, saying some days, and that refers to the little meme that I have printed off from Instagram, I guess it was. And it says, I exist in two places, here and where you are. And that just struck me as being so perfect for describing grieving, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Actually, do I want to put that down? Yeah, I'll put it down. And I'll let the flower clusters, if they need to, I'll let them overlap it. That down. That's also from Discover and Create. I have this little thing that I wasn't sure if I'd want to use. I wasn't it seemed like it was going to be longer than this was wide, and you know me, I don't measure things, so I kind of wasn't sure I was going to use it. But it's actually perfect, and it brings that kind of cracked pistachio color of his shirt kind of right there, and it puts that gray in that's in the newsprint and on the title. And I don't use gray often, but it seems like it's appropriate for this page. Okay, now I haven't glued that down. I kind of thought, I guess I'll have it straight like that and maybe down a bit so that I can then I don't know, maybe add sequins or something inside there. I'm actually probably going to have flowers, kind of build my flower cluster, and I'll bring it down a bit. There. Okay. Now, I thought I would do, looking at the original, there are flowers on each side, kind of the flowers build up there, and then there are flowers just on one side here. So having observed that, I'm gonna maybe do this leaf cluster here with some of these flowers. Let's say like so. And then this one, this one can actually go here. I'll put it here, and then I'll put the flowers here, and I'll prop it up on some foam. Okay, let's do that. I'll build this bottom one first. And I have a couple of these slides, and I left the writing, the script, on the bottom in case that shows. I just thought it would be kind of pretty and interesting. So this, I think, will go better here because of the way it's curved. And then we'll use this one here, and I will let it sit right there. And then I need to put foam on these. Let me get some glue right there so it can stick to the, and I think I'll do this maybe kind of arching up that way, and I'll let it kind of get snugged in. And I have a clip here with a butterfly on it. I wonder, that's kind of cute, just like that. I thought maybe I would use this to kind of reinforce that horizontal line there, but I think this leaf sprig is enough to do that. I have this little bit that says take note, and I may insert that into one of the flower clusters. Let me now get these foam circles to go behind. Oh, I wish the lighting were better. Put that right there. And then I want to go ahead and add in, there's one of these flowers that I fussy cut that has little splotches of purple right here. This one. I'm gonna just glue it right onto the leaves and tuck it under there, and then I will put a half one of these. Nah, let's do a whole one, or I have some small bits. Let's see what I have. I want to be sure that I have one whole one here and one whole one there. And then I can fit these others in. Let me pull this one. That's not, I need one that's kind of rounded on that side. Well, you know, I can put one of those small. I'll put this like this, and then we'll take something like this and run it and put it kind of right there. Okay. So, sorry I haven't figured all this out, but that's kind of, sometimes I figure everything out and then I kind of run through. When I look back at the video, I see that I'm kind of running through and not necessarily explaining how I decided that or how I got from point A to point B. I'm going to trim a little of the white border off of this little piece of ephemera. It's a cute little, you know, again with the black and white. I like the kind of the clean look that gives. I'm gonna put that right there, and it kind of covers that part, but there's still a part right here, and I have another little bit here that I'm also gonna trim a little closer to the image. And this has the gray and kind of beigeness to it. I know there's a piece of trash there. And this is gonna go, it's gonna peek up from underneath and kind of hit right there. Does that one? And then maybe my take note can go right there. And I know I'm covering up a lot of those leaves. And that's kind of okay. Okay, so there looks like a flower cluster with some little sprigs coming out and a leaf there. I was trying to figure out how and where I would work these in. And I'm kind of thinking that if I was going to work them in, they should go underneath the frame. How about just right here? I think I didn't plan for them enough in advance, so I'm thinking they're not going to get used on this page. Likewise for this thing that says the very best. I like it, and it describes how I feel about, you know, that cute guy right there, but I don't know that it fits in with anything else. Okay, let's get this cluster built. And the base for it is going to be this flower. I maybe didn't cut enough of these flowers, but I didn't want to overdo it. Here, and then I can have this. Let me trim it a bit. I don't have to have like really dense flower clusters for this. The going for kind of a clean look, and that's best accomplished sometimes with less rather than more. So I'm gonna go here. I'll put this in, kind of put that coming out that way, and then I will put that guy right there, and it'll just be a two flower cluster. I'm going to go ahead and put a bit of foam behind it. I'll have to figure out where to put the hearts too. So this one's going to be both, these will both be pink. Okay, I think that works for me. So this guy needs to be glued down. Okay, and oh, I have some little small flowers because the pattern paper in the original looked like it had flowers printed, so I thought I might try that. Let's put them all over here, and maybe the hearts can go here. Let's leave that. Let's try that for a second while I'm doing the rest of this. I probably would have had another of the yellow ones, maybe with a little more orange. I'm going to go here with that. I'm going to put the same height because that's kind of sitting top of something. Oh, and I want to add this piece. Before I put the other flower, or else I won't be able to where I am going to want to stick it will be right where the foam dot is. And, you know, I'm speaking from experience. Not that that's ever happened to me before. Okay. And I'll just put that right there. And now I have a dot to put on this guy, and this guy will go right up in there. I don't want any of those cut ends to show, and that one kind of shows a little bit, but I can do this. I can put this remember piece, which again has that kind of grayish beige sort of look, and the chipboard leaf kind of provides a nice little platform for it. Let me pull it out a bit. Okay, there we are. And I have this, which was actually just on my desk, and it says thankful, and I'm trying to see where that would be appropriate, and I'm just gonna add it right here. thankful for all those 8s that we had together, and kind of definitely feeling like I wanted more, of course, but not forgetting how fortunate. I was talking about him today to my physical therapist, just she hadn't ever heard the story about the fact that we had a date night on the 8th of every month, and that we still, as much as we can as a family, we go out and celebrate the 8th together. We did last night at one of John's favorite restaurants, and so she said, "Oh, that just sounds wonderful," and she said it just is so fitting with what you've told me about John. So this is when I fussy cut some butterflies, and this was in there. I don't find my fussy cut butterflies, and I don't need them, actually. So let me put these little flowers around down here. I'm putting them on this tape. If I don't like how it looks, I can pull them off. But the original has these little flowers, and that's kind of what these reminded me of. And it gives a little bit more of a print, a pattern, I guess, to the paper down here, which kind of reads as a solid. Okay. And they're kind of cute. I maybe should have trimmed the white around them, but this is meant to be a pattern paper that I'm building here, and okay, I kind of want them to look randomly placed, so I'm going to put that there and then put this one maybe right this way and then face it a different direction. Everything is from Discover and Create except this, which I happen to know is from one of the sticker sheets from Cocoa Vanilla. Probably these days, which I have had on my desk recently. Some hair. Okay, so I'm going to have this facing that way and have it just slightly, so that it doesn't look like that's a contrived print. And I'm going to go put this maybe here. I'm going to distress it on the bottom side and kind of tuck it just under the photo. I also have a ticket right here, which I kind of thought I might use somewhere in there, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it at this, but I do like this little strip, and I'm going to go hunt for those butterflies and see why they didn't make it to the table. Let's kind of do that. And it's not readable script anyway. It's not meant to be red. It's just kind of a layer of texture and color and right there. So I'm going to put these things away, and I'm going to call this finished. I don't think I need that. The last thing I'm going to do is to curl the paper, if I can get hold of it. There and here, and that kind of shows some of those colors of those pencils. I don't know if I can get this folded over, but I will try. And then here, I forget what's on the other side of this one. Oh, okay, kind of a nice gold floral there and here, and I guess the rest is covered. So that, all right. So this is a happy 8th page for John. Not done on the 8th, but the lift came out on the 8th, so that kind of counts. And this is also my 100th page layout for 2024. It's layout number 100. I've got, some of you have seen this. I have a numbering system. I print these labels, and the background is some of my watercolor. I don't know if that's watercolor or if it's when I was first experimenting with distress oxides. And so this label for this one is 100. Now, about 12 of these pages have been numbered and are, the videos have been made, but they won't be published until I go out of town on my trip, you know, over the next however many days. So look how that matches that color scheme. Let me put a little bit of glue right under here so that kind of stays down. And I'm going to do the same thing under here. Try to get that. So some days I exist in two places, here and where you are. And I thank you for all those 40 years. I thank you all for being there, and I will see you next time. Bye.